Good day and welcome everyone to our online class discussion on finding the critical path in project management. Today, we're going to delve into the concept of critical paths and how they help us understand project timelines and dependencies. But before we proceed to our discussion, let's first have our icebreaker. So in our icebreaker, I have here jumbled letters, and you are just going to guess what word is this. Can anyone answer? Yes, Mr. Pilarco.
Bird.
Bird. Let's see. All right, that's good. For our next jumbled letters. Yes, Mr. Lingling.
Critical path.
Critical path. Let's see. All right, critical path. Next. Can you guess this one? Mr. Geray.
Expected time.
All right, expected time. And last, Mr. Balbada. What word is this?
I think it's slack, sir.
Let's see if it is a slug. All right, that's good. So in our discussion, we have our objectives. Can anyone read this? Objectives to our class? Just raise your hand. Mr. Pilarco.
Objectives. Construct a project network. Perform forward and backward passes. Determine project completion time. Calculate slack value. And state the critical path.
All right, thank you. But before we proceed to our discussion, is there any question?
Hi, sir. I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Balbada.
I'm excited to learn more about critical paths. Can you explain what exactly a critical path is?
Of course. A critical path is the longest sequence of dependent activities in a project network that determines the shortest possible duration for completing the project. Or in other words, it is the series of tasks that must be completed on time for the project to finish as scheduled. Is there any question? Yes, Mr. Mark Pelarco.
So, sir, does every project has a critical path?
Not necessarily. Some projects may have multiple critical paths, while others may not have any at all. It depends on the dependencies and duration of activities within the project network. Yes, Mr. Giray.
How do we identify the critical path in the project network?
Oh, that's a great question. So to identify the critical path, we perform forward and backward passes through the project network. During the forward pass, we determine the earliest start and finish times for each activity. Then during the backward pass, we calculate the latest start and finish times. Activities with zero slack, meaning they cannot be delayed without delaying the project, are part of the critical path. Yes, Mr. Lingling.
Could you walk us through an example?
Okay, so let's proceed to our discussion. So we have here note convention. And as you can see, we have the table, and A stands for activity and T stands for time. ES is the earliest start. EF is the earliest finish. LS is the latest start. And the LF is the latest finish. So let's have this project activity schedule. As you can see, we have the activities from A to I, then followed by the immediate predecessors and expected time in weeks. So in order for us to clearly understand what we're going to do in this activity schedule, let's have our simple sketch. So as you can see, we have this table, and we are going to create a simple sketch of a project network so that we can visualize the diagram of the full network in the next procedure. So here's how we can create a simple sketch. As you can see, activity A has no predecessor, so it goes to start. And activity B and C needs A. Yan. And activity D and E needs B. Activity F needs C. And activity G needs E and D, to be followed by activity 8 that needs E and F. And last, activity I needs H and G. So let's proceed to the next procedure. As you can see here, we have the network with activities or activity notes showing the letters and time. So let's start doing the forward pass. So how to do this a forward pass? So let's start with activity A. As I said earlier, since activity A has no predecessor, so the earliest start is 0. And as you can see, we have the formula in getting the earliest finish. So we just add earliest start to the time or the activity time. So 0 plus 5 is equal to 5. The earliest finish of activity A is 5. And since B and C needs A, they both going to have 5 on its earliest start. And same procedure, we just add the earliest start of the activity to its time or activity time. So 5 plus 10 is equal to 15. And on activity C, 5 plus 13 is equal to 8. Since D and E needs B, as you can see, the earliest start of D will going to be a 15, since it is the earliest finish of activity B. And the same thing on activity E. And we just go to the same procedure that we are going to add the earliest start to its activity time. So on our activity D, 15 plus 7 is equal to 22. And then 15 plus 3 is equal to 18. And on our activity F, 18 plus 9 is equal to 27. So let's proceed to activity G. Since G needs E and D, as you can see, the earliest finish of activity D and E is 22 and 18. 22 is the highest. And we're going to compare 22 and 18. And since 22 is the highest, the earliest start of activity G is going to be 22. And same procedure, we just add 22 plus 4 to make it 20, 26. And then on our activity H, 27 plus 3 is equal to 30. So on our activity I, it needs H and G. And we have the earliest finish is 26 and 30. And since 30 is the highest, the earliest start of our activity I is 30. And we just add 30 plus 7. So the answer is 37. And the completion time of the project is 37 weeks. For our backward pass, here's Mr. Julio Balbada to explain it further to us.
After we solve the forward pass, now let's proceed backward. Since the value of completion time is 37, to get the latest finish of activity I, we just copy the completion time. So the value would be 37. Next, to get the latest start of the activity, all we need to do is to subtract the latest finish to its activity duration or time. So latest start is equal to latest finish minus time. And it's equivalent to 30. Repeat the process since activity G and H has only one predecessor, which is activity I. To get the value of its latest finish, we need to copy the latest start from its predecessor, which is 30, and subtract to time to get its latest start value. So the latest start value of activity G and H is 26 and 27. As we can see, activity E has two predecessors, which is activity G and H. To get the value of activity E, we copy the minimum value from its predecessor. And since the value of its predecessor is 26 and 27, we copy the value of its latest start from activity G since its value is 20 or lower than the other predecessor. Repeat the process of getting the latest start and we get its value. Since D or activity D and F has only one predecessor, we just copy the value of its predecessor's latest start and subtract it to time to get the value of its latest start. So the value of latest start for activity D is 19 and for activity F is 18. Repeat the process, get the minimum value and put it in the latest finish. And then subtract it to time to get the latest start. So 19 minus 10 is equal to 9. And for activity C, we get the value of 18 since its predecessor, activity F, has value of latest start 18. So the latest finish of activity C is 18. And we subtract it to time to get the value of 5. So in activity A, it has two predecessor. What are we going to do is we copy the minimum value and put it in the latest finish, then subtract to time and get the latest start. So after we copy the latest start, the minimum value from its predecessors, which is 5, we subtract it to its time, which is also 5. And we get the answer of 0, which is its latest start. As we can see, we already have the value for slack. Slack is the amount of time it can be delayed. To get the slack, we subtract latest start to earliest start, or latest finish minus earliest finish. It appears that activity A, C, F, H, and I has slack value of 0, means no delay should occur. So, our critical path are activity A, C, F, H, and I. It means that in these activities, no delay should occur or happen.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Julio Balbada, for explaining to us the backward pass and the critical path. So class, I hope you understand our lesson. Is there any conclusions, recommendations, questions, or takeaways regarding our lesson? Oh yes, Mr. Giray.
Sir, one of my takeaways in this lesson is understanding the critical path. This is a critical path is the longest sequence of dependent activities in project network that determines the shortest possible duration for completing the project. Then also, it identifies the critical path. It helps the project manager prioritize tasks and allocate resources efficiently. And also, I learned the forward and backward path to identify the critical path. Um, we perform the forward and backward path through the project network. During the forward path, we determine the earliest start and the finish times for each activity. Then during the backward path, we calculate the latest start and the finish time. So this is my takeaway in this lesson.
And that's nice, Mr. Giray. Thanks for sharing. And is there any takeaways, class? Yes, Mr. Pilarco.
I learned about calculating slack. Slack represents the flexibility or leeway that an activity has before it affects the project overall time. It is calculated by subtracting the earliest start time from the latest start time, or the earliest finish time from the latest finish time. Activities with zero slack are critical because any delay in them will directly impact the project's completion time.
That's true. And thanks for your takeaways, Mr. Pilarco. So is there any other takeaways? Oh, Mr. Lingling.
Hello, good day, Mr. Escala. Thank you for calling me. Yes, I do have takeaways from these lessons about the importance of critical path management. Managing the critical path effectively is crucial for ensuring that the project stays on track and meets its deadlines. Project managers must closely monitor critical activities and take proactive measures to mitigate risks and delays, and also have the project timeline backbone. The critical path serves as the backbone of the project timeline. outlining the sequence of tasks that must be completed on time to achieve project success. By understanding and optimizing the critical path, project managers can streamline workflows and improve overall project efficiency. That's all, Mr. Escala. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ling Ling. So that's all for today, class. I hope you clearly understand our lesson. And after this meeting, I am just going to upload your activities and quizzes. So have a good day, class. Thank you, and God bless everyone.